Snowflake architecture. So I will first of all write down here, when I have to summarize Snowflake architecture, I will say it is multi-cluster and it is shared data. So this summarizes Snowflake architecture, but let's elaborate these two things further. And let's start discussing how it is organized. So this is my storage layer, and this is my compute layer, and this one is my services layer. So on top of it, we have services layer. So what happens, like this is my services layer. So I'm just writing here, this is storage layer, compute layer, cloud services layer, or global services layer. So storage is like, for example, AWS S3, or it can be like GCS, or it can be Azure Blobs. So there's different types of storage, GCS, Google Cloud Storage. And this one is like a single version of truth with regards to data. So you have single copy of data, that's the benefit. So here you can see this is storing the compressed data. It is storing the compressed data. It is also storing the time travel data. You can time travel, you can go back in time. And it is for fail safety, like if there is any catastrophic failure, then you can recover data from Snowflake by raising a ticket. And it is like going into the recycle bin. Even after time travel, you can retrieve data from Snowflake. That's the idea behind fail safe period. So compute layer is like actual horsepower. This is like horsepower of Snowflake. And this one is like AWS EC2 instances running. So these instances are actually all virtual warehouses in Snowflake terms. So we call it virtual warehouses. And you will find like we can easily scale up, scale down these virtual warehouses. And this layer is cloud services layer, and it is also called brain of Snowflake. And you will find this is having security management, like authentication, authorization, and everything is done here. Infrastructure management is done here. Apart from that, metadata management is done here. So a lot of things are done here. There are query of parsing and optimization, parsing, optimization, and many other things. You will find this is the brain. And here caching is also happening. So this is having result cache, and this is having warehouse cache. So there are different types of cache in Snowflake. So you will find this is cache management is also done here. This is another type of cache. So this is three-layered architecture. So when you look at this architecture, you will find that compute layer can be scaled up, scaled down on demand. So this one is like this is always on. This was always on, but compute layer is actually required for extract, transform, load. So when you are extracting data, when you are loading data, or when you are transforming data, then you will use this compute layer, right? Otherwise, compute layer can be skipped. It's optional. It's on demand. It's not always running, right? So it is always on. This one is always storing the data because you are keeping it for long term. But compute layer is on demand. I'm just thinking of elaborating compute layer first. So let's say in compute layer, we have these kind of virtual warehouses. So what are these virtual warehouses? So these virtual warehouses have servers, right? So these are like, for example, EC2, AWS EC2 instances. So this is like 2, this is 4. So these machines are there. Similarly, you will find it. So this is compute layer. I'm elaborating compute layer, and these are called virtual warehouses, and they are created on demand. So you can scale up, scale down. So I'm just rubbing this off. So you will find you can have one virtual warehouse for BI tools. Maybe in BI BI tool you are integrating, and then you are keeping it for BI related and workloads. And then another virtual warehouse for research, maybe data scientists, they are working on it. Another virtual warehouse you can use for um, production ETL or maybe some critical workloads. So you can scale up. Can you see what is the advantage of using virtual warehouse? It is like you are having isolation of workloads. So you can scale up, scale down independently without actually impacting other. Uh, and you can do multi-tenancy very well. So virtual warehouses, this is nothing but like AWS EC2 instances. Like you can say here, it is a combination of SSD, memory, and RAM. Sorry, this is compute. So this is warehouse, like this will store the data for warehouse, because what this is warehouse cache. So if you are using this for multiple different types of queries, then you are impacting the warehouse cache, impacting. So now there are a lot of concepts, but I think like let's move to the second layer, which is like we have services layer, and in services layer we are having meta. Can you see we have metadata management also? So this is something different from Hive, because in Hive we have Metastore, but here the metadata is actually stored in cloud services layer. It is cached. There is a metadata cache also. Along with that, there is one more thing which is called Foundation DB, and Foundation DB is actually a NoSQL key value store which stores the metadata, and that metadata has a lot of information about like which file is stored where, and like which table has like which FDN file. So these kind of details are there, zone map. So cloud services layer has this kind of information. And when you do cloning, then this clone, you know, like why Snowflake we were discussing zero copy clone. And then you have seen like sharing, data sharing is very easy. So there are a lot of unique features in Snowflake. So these things can be done in the services layer itself, like data sharing, zero copy cloning, and apart from that, like many other metadata caching can be done on the services layer itself without going to the storage layer. So if you are able to do zero copy cloning, data sharing, metadata related caching, so then it is like very useful, and it will save a lot of time, because other technologies, they take long time to clone one database to another database. So it takes long time, but here since it is just metadata copy, so that's why it is so fast.